What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Casey, and today we're going to be doing a bit of questions and answers. I've compiled a list of all the questions, well, not all the questions, a bunch of questions over the last few months. I think it's been about 6 months since I did a Q&A, and I was thinking, well, today I'm doing a bit of a drive. We're going up island about almost 2 hours. If you remember Eli from Loki HiLites, and he's actually opening a shop. So we're going to be taking the Jeep up to the grand opening of his shop, and I figured, well, we're gonna be sitting in the Jeep for a couple hours. Why don't I answer some of the questions that you guys have been leaving me in the comments over the last few months? Now, I try to answer all of the comments and questions as they come up on all of my videos, but not everybody sees all the answers and not everybody sees all the questions. So I picked out some of the ones that I thought were most interesting to share with you guys. So we're gonna hop in the Jeep and take it up island. First, I need to go get insurance for the Corvette. Now, I took the Corvette off the road for the winter, but I still have to get storage insurance so that it's covered even while it's sitting in my garage. I don't know what insurance is like where you guys live, but here in British Columbia, I need to insure each of my vehicles separately. I can't just get insurance for me and then it covers my vehicles wherever they are. I actually have to insure each one individually, and it gets a little expensive. So that's why the Corvette is not on the road over the winter, because I'm not really driving it. Just need some insurance in case something happens while it's in the garage. The Jeep on the road all year round so that we can off-road whenever we need to. But first, I need to fix, look, the Jeep has a flat tire. It's probably not flat, and this is probably the first question for me to address is, why do I always have flat tires? Well, let me tell you, what happens is when I take the valve stems out all the time to air down, what happens is sometimes in the stems we get dirt and debris or whatever, and they don't always thread back in properly. So in order to fix this, it's 95% likely that it's just the valve stem. So I'm just going to take my air down tool, I'm going to pull that valve stem out, thread it back in, hopefully it's clean, and I'll tighten it up a little bit more than possibly what it is now. And we're gonna fire on the compressor in the garage, fill that up, take the Jeep out, go grab some insurance for the Corvette, and then we're gonna head up island. And while we're driving, I'm gonna answer some of your questions. So come along with me today while we drive up, and then I will show you guys Eli's new shop that he's been working on for the last couple of weeks. Looks pretty awesome. So stick around to the end. We'll do a quick walk around and see what's going on up there. All right, guys, we are just driving up to Parksville right now. We got insurance for the Corvette. I'm not sure how good the audio is right now. It is absolutely pouring rain here on the highway. Probably hear the windshield wipers in the background. I'm not sure it's a good time to be answering questions, but we've got a bit of a drive ahead of us, and quite typically the weather will change a lot between here and midway up the island. So we're gonna keep driving along. But yeah, check this out. It's just pouring rain. Not a great day to be driving on the highway, but I do want to answer a bunch of these questions and give you guys some answers and perspective from my point of view. We'll get to that shortly. Hang on. All right, I had to stop for a few minutes because it's been raining the whole time, and of course we're literally just outside Eli's shop, but I wanted to do this Q&A before going in, and of course it stopped raining only a few kilometers from here. Anyways, let's get down to the Q&A that we've been talking about doing for today. I'm gonna start this off with a question from my friend Nick over at CarPage, actually, because he DM'd me the other day asking, what's up with your URL or your address to your channel? It is an old school, it doesn't have one of those randomized channel character name, channel names with a bunch of randomized characters. It's actually user slash, and it's an old username that I had for YouTube, because if you look at my channel, I actually started my channel back in, I think, 2008 or 2009. I uploaded some old video game videos to the channel, and have since long got rid of them. And then when I started uploading videos to YouTube, I didn't really think about, so I've kind of got an old URL for my channel and YouTube won't change it. So you can go to youtube.com/Casey250, or you get that username /alcohol, and that's actually just the channel I started when I was gaming. And so anyways, That sort of explains if you're wondering why you get that funny URL on my channel. It's not that interesting. Thanks, Nick, for sending me that DM and asking me that question, because that kind of gave me the idea to do this Q&A this week. And CarPage is an awesome app. I do have my vehicles uploaded on there. If you do want to go check it out, go download it on the App Store. Next question real quick. What tire pressure do you run? Well, typically I run 6 to 8 to 9 PSI when I'm off-roading. That's because of my bead locks, and I won't roll a bead, and it just gives me more traction. I should probably do a video one day on why you want to actually air down, because it gives you more traction, makes your tire softer, but not every tire is the same. It depends on how firm your sidewall is as well, whether or not you have bead locks. But generally I run around 6 to 8 PSI warm. It'll be a bit low if they're cold. Next question, what kind of lights are those on your A-pillars by your mirrors? They're a little bit different from what you would normally see for pillar lights. They are HiLites Flex Series LEDs, and they're the dual widespread beams. I have one on each side, and the reason why you may not notice them, because I have a cover on them. We're supposed to have our lights covered here if we're not using them. But my cover is perforated with some vinyl that I put on the back of the plexiglass so that they look covered, but they work just fine. So they don't look exactly like you would see the KC Flex lights on their website, but they are underneath those. Those are the same lights I have on my front bumper as well. Next question, what backup camera system are you using? Well, it's a bit of a piecemeal system. Actually, my Trail Dash 2 tuner has an RCA input that I can plug a camera feed into. It then will select the camera when I go into reverse, because that Trail Dash is plugged into my OBD2 port. I bought a cheap $20 camera on Amazon. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to check it out. And basically just wired it all the way to the back, ran an RCA cable all the way up to the front on my dash, plugged it in to my Trail Dash, and whenever I go in reverse, that camera is displayed. And it has a constant power, because that camera is always powered. I can actually select it even when I'm not in reverse through the Trail Dash if I want to see what's behind me. An interesting question about the vlog. Do you have a plan for your vlogs, or is it all off the cuff? Usually if I'm out on the trail, it is all off the cuff. It is just kind of made up as I go. I generally have a theme of what I'm doing for the day, and I may have a few sort of premeditated things that I've been thinking about that I want to talk about on the vlog for the day. But generally, if I'm out off-roading, the vlog is all done on the fly, and usually I try to build the story when I'm editing. If I'm shooting a vlog in the garage talking about a product review, installation guide, something like that, usually I do quite a bit of prep beforehand, whether it's researching how to install the part, formulating some ideas beforehand of what I think about it, or I've been testing it for a little while. So generally, if it's a vlog out on the trail, it's pretty much done off the fly. I clean it up a lot in editing. Question, you guys see my speedo quite often, and you see that there is 190,000 on the odometer. Guys, I live in Canada, so that is actually kilometers, not miles. I think that's probably around 140, 150,000 miles if you convert it. But no, that is 190,000 kilometers on my Jeep. I do have a 3.8 liter, and it is still going pretty good. It doesn't burn a lot of oil, but I don't put a lot of kilometers on my Jeep unless I'm going to some sort of event down in the States or on the mainland or something like that. So I tend not to burn too much oil. Another question, I like this security shelf in the back. Does it come in aluminum? That is a Tuffy security deck, and no, it does not come in aluminum. It comes in steel only. It is quite heavy, but it is secure. It is secured on 4 sides, and then when the tailgate is closed, you can't access any of my cargo in the back. But it is a bit of a trade-off for weight. For security, I really like it, especially because I run the soft top year round, and especially when I'm traveling and I've got to park at a hotel or a rented house or anywhere we're grabbing lunch. It's nice to know that all my gear and equipment in the back is secured all the time. Let's see, so if I'm running Dana 30s, can I change the ring and pinion to a 44? No, you can't. The tubes and outers are, I'm pretty sure, the same on the 40s and 30s, but the actual differential housing in the middle, the center section where your ring and pinion live, are different. They have different covers and the specs are going to be different, the tolerances. No, you can't just put a 44 ring and pinion into your Dana 30 axle. You need to get a new axle. Did I have 40s on my Jeep before? No, I didn't. I've always run 37s ever since I modify it. They do look a bit taller, just the way that those trail ready beadlocks sit with the tire. They seem to look taller than 30s. I'm not sure, or taller than 37s. I'm not sure why, but no, I run 37s by 12.5 R17 on my Jeep. I have since I built it, and I don't plan on changing it unless I buy some bigger axles. And what does my license plate stand for? It is RLNOVR. It is rolling over. I guess that's just something I never want to do. I thought it was funny. I actually was trying to get a license plate that was 011110 that looked like a Jeep Girl. Every iteration that I sent in to have it approved got denied, so I just went with this because it was fun. Did you install your Pro Rock in your garage or have a shop do it? Curious about the cost. I had my Pro Rock built by a builder over in Vancouver who put it together as the spec we needed, and he installed it for me as well. At the same time, I had it re-geared. All total, to have my front axle replaced, my back re-geared, and as well I purchased a new tie rod at the same time. I believe it was around 8,000 Canadian, give or take. That included gears. I reused my Rubicon electronic lockers, and I bought chromoly axle shafts for the front, obviously re-geared the front and the back to 513s in case you're wondering, and a new tie rod and some diff covers, and that was about 8 grand. It is a Pro Rock 44 with the 1/2 inch Dom tubes on it, so it is the beefier version, and it has been great ever since I bought it. No complaints. How did I balance my 37-inch tires with beadlocks? I didn't. Nope. I pretty much, they're good. They're so big and heavy, and these are, I'm running BF Goodrich KM2s. I've found that they've never really had a balancing issue. I have a very slight vibration at about 110 kilometers an hour, but below or above that, my Jeep runs great. It's smooth on the highway, and no complaints. I haven't had to balance them. Some people do get them balanced. Depending on your tire, they can take a lot of weight to balance, depending on how good the quality is of the manufacturing and how well they distribute the weight around it during the manufacturing process. A lot of people have had various different experiences balancing their tires. I've read, I haven't actually tried them myself, but balancing beads are a popular suggestion, but several people that I've talked to aren't a big fan of them. So I would probably just go with stick-on wheel weights and see what you can do. Hopefully it's all right. But for me, I haven't had to balance mine. They've been great and no issues so far for over 3 years. What type of control arms do I have on my Jeep? I am running a Rock Crawler 3.5 inch X Factor. They call it a mid-arm lift, but really it's just, there's a bit more adjustment. I think I have 7/8 inch stretch in the rear, so I push the rear wheel set back, and you can see that because my suspension springs look a little wonky in the rear, but I run all Rock Crawler control arms on my rig. They've been pretty good. They are higher maintenance. If you're thinking about going with them over another brand, you do have to make sure they're greased with the proper grease, otherwise the joints will have problems. But they have been great. My Jeep feels really good on the road. It has really good handling, and it feels comfortable and secure when I'm driving it. And it really flexes really nice when I'm on the trail. So not a lot of complaints about Rock Crawler. Their suspension has been good for me for the last few years. And this is the last question. This was on Instagram actually. If you do a 1-ton axle swap, what axle choice are you thinking about and why? You know, I think there's several good 1-ton axle brands out there. My Dynatrac Pro Rock 44 has been great, so I will definitely be looking at Dynatrac if I go that route. Curry has been a really interesting company. They've put out the Rock Jocks, which are really nice looking axles, and I've had a few conversations with them as well. I think that Dana axles are really good 1-ton axles. Those would probably be my 3 favorites from everything that I've read, as well talking to the companies. I think that there's some other decent choices like Terraflex. They seem to be putting out a really good axle as well, but I don't have any experience with them and I haven't talked to anybody that is actually running them. But I would probably be looking primarily at Dana or Dynatrac as my first option. And I think at the end of the day, it's probably going to come down to price if I go that route, because Canada has some interesting challenges with logistics getting stuff up here. So shipping can be a lot more expensive depending on who I can get them from, whether I can get them from Northridge or I have to order them directly from the factory. That will play a big difference on cost. You know, maybe somebody wants to work with me and offer some sort of discount, but I'm not sure. That's not something I'd be banking my decision on too much. A lot of it is around availability, where I can get them warranted if I have a problem, and shipping and actually getting them here. But I would probably be looking at Dynatrac or Dana as my first two picks. Curry, I think, makes a good axle as well. I'm not a huge fan of the actual design of the cover and how it's tilted upwards, but you know, that's just, I think, some personal preference. I think it has some benefits and some negatives. So can't really say. I don't want to recommend a product that I haven't tested, but what the products are that I'll be looking at would be Dynatrac. I'd be looking at Dana, and I'll be probably looking at Curry and maybe TerraFlex if there's a massive price difference. I think there's a few factors that would come into play with that decision. All right, that's it for the questions, guys. Hopefully they were helpful. I do try to answer all the questions that you guys leave in the comments, so you know, leave anything down in this comment or any future videos, and I pretty much address all of them as I can. Everybody keeps giving me some looks over here at Loki's grand opening at Loki Lights. So let's get out of the Jeep. I'm gonna pull up and go park and stop talking to this camera, sitting in my Jeep. So let's go pull up and check out what's going on. I thought I would come be social rather than sitting out here in the Jeep, you know. I was trying to do a Q&A on the way up. Right. And it's been pouring rain so badly that you know, all you would hear is windshield wipers in the background and rain and motor. So I wanted to take a few minutes before we pull up here. Right, we just cleared a spot. We kicked the guy out so you could get prime parking. Oh, perfect. So you can get back. Look at that. VIP, guys. VIP at the grand opening of Loki Lights. All right. All right, let's go check it out. All right, so we're just heading into Eli's shop. Hey, so we got Loki in the back, the wall of goodies here. What do you guys think? Pretty good start. Eli is still working on this. It's a bit of a work in progress, just getting going. How many late nights have you had in the shop getting it ready for? 60-ish. 60-ish? Maybe 90. Well, it's just the start. Stuff's blending. Right? Yeah, exactly. It all just starts to fade after a while, but it really does. Tried to build a little bit of a collection of all the different lights that we have, because we have so many. It's crazy. Like, a lot of people are like, hey, you got a 20-inch light bar? And I'm like, I do. I have 15 different. Yeah, no, man, the shop's looking good. I can't wait to see how it progresses over time. And we've got Jeep grills all behind us. The collection is slowly building up. Loki in the back, the trailer's looking good. It's the first time I think I've seen the trailer. Look at who's this guy back here. We need like a projector or an LCD or something, so you can just be watching yourself all the time. Yeah, back wall, big TV. Sweet. That's it for today, guys. Just a quick walk around of the shop. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And don't forget weekly uploads every week. I will see you guys very soon in the next video. With the squeaky brakes back again. Why? Thanks for coming. I need the big stick. Your stick is bigger than mine. Yeah, I get that a lot. Yeah, I just got the little GoPro official. See you guys.